Hello everybody, I'm getting over my cold. Let's do a retro daily challenge. These are daily targets from October of 2023. This is October 17th, October 18th, and October 19th. Let's get right to it. I think this is one of the more straightforward ones for me. So I think this is a repeating background that you could do with a conic gradient or a linear gradient, several different ways to do it. Let's put this blue right in the middle with the correct margins, and actually we can use those margins on the paragraph tag itself. 50 and 70 and 80 and 90, 91, 92, something like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it 200? It's just 200. That's just 200. All right. So then we have this background, and it kind of doesn't matter. We could do it with a conic gradient. We can do it with a linear gradient. So let's do it the conic gradient first. At what would it be? What would it be? 0, 0. And then it would be this blue for at 135 degrees, and then transparent like that. And then you would put it in the upper corner with 0, 0, and then you would have it be 50%, 50%. And I believe that would do it. The other way to do that would be a linear gradient of a very similar nature. So I think we're just going to change the syntax here, linear, right? And linear doesn't accept an at value. And then we want, what, 50%? And we need it to be at an angle, 45 degrees. So we're flopped, but you can see that it's pretty obviously the right way to do it. And can we say, we can't say 25%. 25% would be 50. Yeah, we have to use a degree value there. So let's submit and see if we get 100%. Is it perfectly aligned? There's a little outline, but yeah, that's 100%. Okay, so that's it. Let's minify and unit replace, and we've done this one. Little bits and pieces of sizing. Are there any other changes we need to want to make? No, there are not. Obviously, we could also do margin 0 and then a border of the pink around, and then do the same, but then we can't take advantage of the sizing of 50%, right? Because the whole reason that works so nicely is because this represents 50% of the height and width of the object. Once you start putting it on the body, then you can't take advantage. You can't do that 50%, 50%. You got to say, well, what's that exact sizing? All right, so next one. This is from October 18th of 2023, and this is sometimes these rotated ones are really irritating. Let's think positively. We're going to think positively about this one. Rotate 45 degrees, and then we'll do aspect ratio 1 because we don't know exactly what the width is yet. Let's put our body in the background, our background color on the background, and I mean clearly that's a conic gradient, right? Like, to me, there is no more representative conic gradient. Purple to blue, and that's what is that? 50, 40, 25%, 0. So hilariously, how about like that? Oh, and again, I've got the color swapped. Again, visualizing exactly what this is on the tricky side. Oh, that's nice. The diff kind of makes it look like there's a shadow there. All right. Okay, so 200. Okay, probably too big. How about 150 or something? And then let's smooth those margins. Or can we take advantage? So this is one of the cheats. Display flex, justify content, justify content, align, justify content, yeah, center, boom, and then align items. Center. Okay, so this is one trick that I'll do to try to get the numbers right on the actual element. So it's 160. So now let's do width of 160. I mean, and that's out the door. I think that's 100% match. Let's find out. So that's 100% match. So if we can do it not display flex by putting margins on the element, by adjusting these numbers, can we get it in the same position? Almost. So 70 and 112, is that the same thing? It's a little less code, right? We don't have the display flex, we don't have the justify and align, and we do, so that's great. Boom, out the door. Pretty great solution to that one, and that's a new high score for me, so that's very pleasing to get that in a good position. All right, and then lastly, what is this guy? What is this fella? This is so how many elements do we want to do this in, I guess, is the first question. We've got things that could be gradients. This could be element. I mean, this could be what, 5, 6 elements. It could be 2 elements. It could be two with a middle one. We could do this with borders. Borders actually kind of appeals to me a little bit there. So adjusting these borders. So that's how I feel like I want to do it today. So let's do the blank template, and then let's set some borders. Border solid green, and then border width, and then let's figure out a way to define that border width as a variable. So var, I'll call it -b, and we'll say 30 pixels, 30 pixels, 30 pixels, 0. So that would be the first one. And if I do display, so I need a width probably. Width 50, sure. And then if I do a second one, it's the same thing again. But if I do p plus p, and I do --w, and I simply do 30 pixels, or --b, I use the right variable name. There it is. So let's say that's our width. So those are our 2 elements. So if I do display flex, do I get it immediately in for free? Let's find out. Close. All right. Margins. Time for margins. 40, 50, 60, 70, 72, 3, 4. All right, and we're going to need a gap. Don't forget about the gap. All right, so that's too small a gap, but you also have these borders are not quite big enough. Is it 40? I think it might be 35. Okay, and then our widths are, no, that it is 40. All right, so let's 40. So those borders are 40 wide. And then that makes this border 40. All right, let's make this a little wider then. Width 60, 70, 80, 90. Does that mean we also need to change the width of the second one? Probably we do, huh? Hilarious. So it's good we didn't use W as the width there. So we do width of 100. No, and that's still not big enough, is it? So if that's for, it's probably a nice even 40 there. Well, maybe not. No. So the height is also 40. Oh, are we closer? Getting closer. 10, 20, 30. No. Let's set this width --W of 40. All right. Lots of numbers to adjust here. I haven't forgot about that middle section, but we're not there yet. All right. Too wide. Is it 80? Because of course it's symmetrical. All right, let's get rid of that background. All right, and then we've got one last chunk, which is that middle bit, and for that I will use my favorite conic gradient, which is at 40 pixels, 40 pixels. So that's the upper corner of this body. It's going to be that yellow 75% around, ending on that. There's our little chunk. We move it over percent. No, that's right. Can't do that. 200 pixels, 100 pixels, 130, 170, 180. That's it. Let's see. Is that correct? Let's submit it and find out. A lot of ways to do this one. A lot of ways to do this one. Super fun. Exactly how many there are. We'll resubmit. I don't know that this is a particularly great solution to this problem. It is one among many solutions. Oh, it's a higher score than what I've gotten in the past, so more efficient. Part of having, systematizing somewhat how I approach these has made me faster and more efficient, whatever. So that's fun to revisit these. All right, that's great. I'm glad to be having the energy to be able to do these again, these old ones. I'm looking at about 35% done with all of the prior daily targets, which is fun. I still have a little bit of a cold, but not completely congested. So maybe I'll do another one today. Have a great day. Make something fun with CSS today. Be careful out there. Bye-bye.